Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Raymond J. Negron and Beyond Failure to Reach Success. And what I wanted to talk to you today about is a special moment in my life. And what you're going to learn about, my life and your life is probably this one thing that may change the way you view things. And it's in the title. What is your mission, right? What is your mission? So there was this lady. I believe her name was Krista McAuliffe. And she was one of the first school teachers in 1986. President George W. Bush, who at the time was vice president, had this program that they would launch a teacher into outer space. And so during that time, there was 11,000 applicants that actually applied to be a part of this. One of them was Krista McAuliffe. And I hope I'm saying her name right. And the thing is that when she applied, out of all those 11,000 applicants, she was accepted. And she was going to be one of the first teachers in outer space. And she comes from Massachusetts. And she was a school teacher. She taught history and she taught English. And she was a phenomenal teacher. Like her town rallied up around her and they were proud of her and they were excited for her. And she actually came to my town when I was living in Fort Myers, Florida, and she spoke around that area. And I got to see her speak about what her experiences are and what her mission is going to be in going to outer space. And the one thing that really stuck out is that, she's like, and I'm kind of putting my own words and spin on this, but it's interesting because teachers ask you to write book reports, right? And book reports are like knowledge and information gathering of things that we don't really know anything about. And then if you take that, you go into a field report. A field report is something that you actively have experience in doing. You have experiential learning by going out into the world and getting the experience from this specific thing. And that's what she wanted for her students. She wanted to go out into outer space and she wanted to be able to describe what her experience was like in outer space and be one of the first women to be out in outer space. I'm not sure if it was the moon or where she was landing, where they were going, but that was her mission. That to her, she was grateful, she was honored, and she went through the hard training. She had to leave her husband. I believe she had 2 or 3 kids. And, this brings me back to a moment when I was in 5th grade. And I went to a school called Fort Myers Christian School in 1986. And, we did see her speak, prior to, the launch of the NASA Space Challenger. And our school predominantly was really celebrating outer space. And there was actually supposed to be 15 launches that NASA was doing that year. And hers was number 1. I'm not sure. I believe she was 1 out of 4 or 5 people that were on the crew. But I was in 5th grade, and there was this teacher named Mr. Peterson, Gary Peterson. And he was a good teacher. And I remember our school was celebrated. We had spaceships everywhere. The imagination was just running wild with possibilities, right? Like wild. Like we studied space. We studied, like there were planets. We really dug into, NASA was a big influence in Florida at that time. And I remember going out and he would lead us outside. And I believe there was a lot of things that were going wrong with the Challenger at that time. Like there was, there was like the door wouldn't shut. I believe there was like dust on something, they had to clean it and all these things. So we would go back and forth until we got the announcement on the radio, because he kept the radio inside of the room that the launch is about to happen. And so we went outside, and I remember standing there, and it's weird because I still get emotional talking about it, because our school was so pro, like, just, think about it, man, the new frontier, like humans do things that are impossible. That's what we glorify on this planet. And I remember sitting there with a whole bunch of kids. I was in 5th grade too, and we saw the space shuttle launch, and the Challenger ended up blowing up in space, and all those people died on that Challenger. And I remember right away, Mr. Peterson literally fell to his knees and started crying and was in awe and shock and astonishment. All the kids started screaming around us. And I was quiet. I didn't even know what to say. I was in shock and awe, but I knew this was not good. And we all went back inside, and everybody was crying. Everybody was in tears. And I believe some of the kids didn't even know why they were in tears. They were just in tears because everybody else was in tears. But I felt the culture. I felt the theme. I felt that existence, us as humans were growing, were existing, and we had a bigger mission in life than just what it was that we were currently doing. And even as a child, I felt a part of that. And I remember seeing that, and I was in tears. I remember at my desk, I was crying in tears because of that mission, of that thing. And what I'm trying to relate to it is, and I don't know this to be true, I'm sure this woman wouldn't want to have died on that mission, Krista McAuliffe, but she went on it anyway. She made a decision to go on this mission to do something great in this world. She cut loose regardless of whatever was going on in her life, and she fully committed to going on this mission, regardless of what was happening. She didn't know she was going to die. She didn't know that, there was an O-ring on the spaceship that actually, I think it came loose and then exploded. But I have a feeling, even if you went back, that's what she wanted to do. She was so driven and ambitious to do that thing that there was nothing else stopping her. She had to leave her family to go train for a few months or years. I don't even know what the process was, but I know that was near and dear to her heart, because when she spoke about it, you could hear it. You could hear the nationalism. You could hear, the feeling of I'm part of something bigger than just teaching. If I could speak to her now, that she would have said, you know what? I'm going to be able to come back and bring this amazing experience back to all of the school children in the world. And I'm going to be able to bring everything back and be able to teach them. I'm going to be able to bring them something so they could see new hope and new possibility and, a new way of being, a new way of having, a new way of doing. And I'm going to be able to go out into this world and bring back this experience that I will take with me for the rest of my life, right? Even though this was a sad and tragic thing, most people still go on their missions. Most people still carry out their missions in life. And my advice to you is we should all find something that's divine inside of us and figure that out, specifically what it is that we want, and go after it, because you don't know what you're missing when you don't go on your mission, right? And when you believe in something so much, and you drink that belief, and you affirm it, and that affirmation becomes a confirmation, and that confirmation becomes a deep conviction in what you're doing, being in this one great life. You let nothing else stop you. That gives you everything. That gives you the gift of life. That gives you the gift of life that other people wish they could have. So if you have a divine mission out there that's driving you, that you know that if you move forward and you did something about it, that you would change your life. That you would go from ordinary to extraordinary. And it's that bridge that you will build, that mission and that meaning and that drive that makes you unstoppable. So going back to 1986, I thought about that time, right? Someone brought it up to me the other day, and I think that's why I was talking about it. And that's what I took for that. I could look at it as, you know what, when you live your dreams, bad things happen. But the truth is that that was her life. That's what she wanted. She was driven beyond, just being a school teacher. She knew she had a deeper calling, and that deeper calling told her to apply out of the 11,000 applicants that she was the one chosen to do the training, to have all those experiences. So one day we're all not going to be here. One day, we're going to move on. But what is the life you're living and giving now, right? Because life gives to the giver and takes from the takers, So it's like, figure out what your one mission in this one great life is and move forward with it as quickly as you can, because, it's a crusade, right? If you look at like what a mission is, if you're looking at a religious context to it, it's something that is in us, that we're so convinced that you couldn't tell us anything else, and if there's one thing inside of you that's driving you forward, let it out. Figure out what your mission is. Move forward as quickly as you can. That's it, man. And again, that was 1986. And I believe I was in 5th grade. God. Take care. I hope everyone's having an excellent day. Again, I'm Raymond J. Negron. It's beyond failure to reach success. Take care.